Hi, and welcome to today's demonstration on creating the perfect clay slab for any occasion. One of the first things that you want to do while you're preparing yourself for this project is you want to take off any jewelry that you might have on your hands. If you do that at this point in time, there we go. If you do that at this point in time, then you won't have to worry about it getting all full of clay, and you don't want that to happen to all your good jewelry. Okay, the next step that we have is that we're going to take this clay and we're going to slap it with the palm of our hand, and we're going to shape it into a ball. No matter what shape you get it in, it's always best to start out with a ball shape. All right? And what this does also is it helps you to determine on how that clay is working within your hands. Once you have it in a pretty nice ball, doesn't have to be perfect, but once you have it in a pretty nice ball, you're just going to take it and you're going to drop it on the table. You're not going to slam it. If you slam it on the table, it might spread all over the place, and it might, do things that aren't all that good to the clay. Now comes the fun part. It's called wedging. We take our hands and we put them together, and kind of like a dove. You know when you made those little shadows on the screens in the light? Okay, you're going to put them together like this. You're going to push on the side of the ball that's closest to you. You're not going to push on the whole ball, not on the top, not on the sides, just on the side that's closest to you, a little down and a little away. And when you do this, it's going to look like somebody sat on this clay ball, okay? Yeah, I know. Okay, so as long as you have it looking like somebody sat on your clay ball, all right, kind of like that, or maybe it can look like an alien, all right? Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is with your hands in that same position yet, you're going to grab around the clay ball with your fingers, and you're going to pull backwards. And then this is what I call the old man position, because it looks like you made a little old man here, all right? He's got a wrinkled face and his head is still big. Okay, so from that old man position, you're going to push down one more time. You're going to pull back, and you're going to keep doing this, for about 5 minutes if you have some raw clay, maybe only about 2 or 3 minutes if it's just fresh clay. All right? And the part about this is, when you're wedging, is you're aligning the platelets. You're taking those little pieces of clay and you're lining them up. And when they're lined up properly, it's going to help to reduce the stress on the clay once you make your piece. The other thing that you're doing by wedging like this, and this is called a ram's horn wedge, by the way, when you're ram's horn wedging, the other thing that you're doing is you're removing any air pockets that might be in the clay. If there are air pockets in the clay, what's going to happen is when you fire your piece is that these air pockets may expand. And if they expand, your piece is going to explode. The bad part about that is your piece won't be the only one that's injured. Anybody else's piece that's close to yours in the kiln will be taken out as well. So please, make sure that you wedge well, okay? At least 2 to 3 minutes. 5 if it's, like I said, if it's recycled clay. Okay, and as I said, this is called a ram's horn method. All right? You can see that right there. Kind of looks like a ram's horn. It kind of looks like a ram's face as you built it up. The next step that you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to shape it into a ball once again. Okay, so I'm just going to pound on it. And the thing is that these platelets are already lined up, so we don't want to mess with the ball in any other way. Just kind of compact it right back into where it was. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sheet here, my vinyl sheet, and I'm going to put this ball down on here. I know that I want my piece to be a square of about 9 inches by 9 inches, and I know that this piece is 12 inches wide. I'm going to take my sticks here, and I'm going to lay them down on either side, about 9 inches apart. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin, and I'm going to start to roll from the center out forward, roll from the center down back. You notice that my rolling pin doesn't have any handles on it, it's just a hunk of wood. All right, those handles are more of a detriment than they are of a helper. So make sure if you have one with handles, don't use the handles, just hold onto the piece like this. Okay, so after I've rolled away from me and back toward me, I'm going to take the piece and I'm going to flip it over once, and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. So that rolling part that I just had is going side to side. Take it again, I'm going to roll it toward me and away from me. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to turn it, flip it, and we're going to keep doing this until it fills my space. Now I keep turning it at the 90 degrees also because I want to have a square for my final project. If I wanted an elongated rectangle, I might not turn it as often. But I do want to make sure that I'm getting some really good positive pressure on my piece here. And now you notice I'm taking a couple more than just one move out. And we're getting a little on the wide side. So the next thing I'm going to do, and this is also going to happen a little bit later, is I'm going to just take my piece and I'm going to just tap it just so, ever so gently, to try and move this piece back in just a little bit. So that we'll have a really nice clay body to work with. You'll notice I'm moving the rulers around. I want to stay on top of my rulers, my slab sticks as we call them, so that my slab is always going to be the proper thickness. Always the same thickness throughout the piece. And then as you get a little bit more advanced, you can use your eye. You can look at it and you can say, there's a high spot here, and I'm going to just kind of roll this out. Don't worry about that right now. You'll get to that in a little bit. And one last thing that we have to do, as I said before, we're going to take this slab one more time, and we're going to take it and we're going to just give it a little bit of a tap on the ends. And what we're doing like that is we're relieving the stress. Think about it. If you've been rolling out this piece, all those little clay particles that were in the middle are getting pulled. Okay? They're getting pulled, they're getting stretched out. If we give them a little bit of a tap in, it relaxes them. They're not so crazy at being pulled anymore. I'm going to do one more, just last little. I'm hardly even putting any pressure on. All it is to flatten the piece out. And there you have it. Your slab that's ready for just about any occasion. This one happens to be what I would call 3 slab sticks thick. All right? And if you do this well, your piece will survive well in the kiln. All right, go to it.